Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Swissman15 back with another episode of Noob School. This is probably going to be the last episode. This is going to be the episode on building your armies. I'm going to do armies for balanced rushes and also sieges, both attack and defense. I'm going to show you what they are and explain a bit about them. But I just want to say that this is probably going to be the last one. I think I've gone over pretty much all the basics I can. All there's left to do is show you what kind of armies are good for all the different strategies that I've shown you. If there's anything else that you think I missed, then certainly please comment, and I can probably do another one if there's something that pressing that I missed. But right now, I'm just going to show you balanced rushes and then siege armies in that sequence. So, and also in different money values. So this first page over here is going to be balanced armies, and I have 7,500, 10,000, 12.5k, and 15k. Those are going up by 2.5k each time. So you have very low money, medium money, and high money. And I'm going to show you different decent armies for them and go over what factions are good for a balanced one. So pretty much any faction is good for a balance except for Poland, Denmark, Scotland, or the Aztecs. Those guys need to rush if you're going to play as them because they don't have any archers that have long-range missiles. Other than that, every other faction has long-range missiles, which is very nice to see. So, because if you're shooting first, then you definitely have an advantage in your balance. If you don't shoot first, then you're not going to have the advantage, and there's no point of being a balanced army then. So let me go straight into showing you. So for very low, I have Venice, because Venice has very cheap units available to them. They have the cheap heavy infantry, which will outperform any spears and such, so they're very useful. And also, they have cheap cav, like the broken lances, which will perform quite well and have a great charge for their price. And so you have, what I put together was a general's unit early period, 3 units of broken lances and mounted surgeons. Since it's low money, you don't want to bring too much cav. 3 units of archers I think is decent for that kind of money, and then 5 units of infantry. It's very, very low, don't expect much of it. And it's very nice because it's exactly 750k. I mean 7.5k, excuse me. Next we have is for 10k balanced army, we have Hungary. So Hungary has very cheap cav. They have the Royal Bandrium, which is 790, so you can get, say, the General's Bodyguard and then 4 units of Royal Bandrium, or if you want to save even more money, you might want to get some Hussars, which are 750 and are a light cav. They're really fast and really strong in the melee. They're pretty awesome. Beyond that, I brought 4 units of Pavi's Crossbow Militia, just like Pavi's Crossmen, and then 7 units of infantry. I like to alternate my infantry because they're not all the same quality. That way you have a uniform line, well, symmetrical line in a way, so you know one side won't break right away if it's weaker than the other side, per se. So that's why I integrate my units, my infantry, excuse me. So this is a very nice one because you got really strong cav for cheap money, and you can probably save more money. You could probably even take out some of these infantry, maybe, and get another Hussar, depending on the rules. I would probably stay at 5 or 6 for this kind of money, because it's still detrimental if you have too much cav, you know. You want to have a lot of cav, you want to have more cav than everyone else, but not too much cav that you're ruining yourself, is what I'm trying to explain. Okay, for the next army, this would be for Sicily with medium... Okay, never mind. I thought I saw total soldiers, I thought that was extra money for a second. I was like, oh my god, I messed it all up. But no. This is for medium money, 12.5k. And I actually used this army in the tournament. It didn't work out so well for me. That was the final round of the tournament, Pixelated Palace tournament. And we lost that first battle, but we ended up coming back. But, yeah, but it still seems like a good army. You have strong cav and... all around, but the great thing about this is that you can get a lot of Pavis, 5 of them, and you have Pavis Cross Militia, which are just the same, but since it's a different unit, it doesn't realize that it won't do a cost increase. So you actually can save money that way and have you will probably win the skirmish. Or if they also brought that much, they probably don't have as many crossmen as you do. So then I completely messed it up. If they also brought the same amount of crossmen, then they don't have as much money as you do because you save some because they have a cost increase. It actually costs 610 if you get 5 Pavu's crossbowmen, if you're playing as Venice or something. So that's interesting about them. And then they have good, cheap infantry. They have the dismounted Norman Knights, which are dismounted feudal knights in essence. And they have sword and buckler men, which are technically light infantry, but they have enough armor that they will stand. And they are pretty good. They will get the job done. They have good morale and all. And they're better than the other infantry that will rout almost instantaneously, especially in this kind of money. So that's why I put together that army. So then finally we have my favorite faction, the Holy Roman Empire, for high money balance. I use this army in my free-for-alls. I have 7 cav here. Usually 7 cav is not allowed, so you can probably take one of these Imperial Knights out. But it has high upgrades on these 2 Town Knights. These cost 1.2k each, so it's a lot of money into there. But the Teutonic Knights are so worth it, and especially the Imperial Knights will do very well for themselves. And you have the General's Bodyguard late period, of course. Then you have 4 units of Pavis, and then you have the dismounted Imperial Knights with armor and attack. I actually took out an infantry here because the dismounted Imperial Knights perform better with upgrades. They will actually compensate for the lesser unit. I wouldn't advise taking out units if you can, because usually quantity trumps quality. So only in this or a few circumstances do I take out a unit to upgrade my infantry. Other than that, even if you upgrade, say, dismounted field knights and the other person doesn't, but he has 1 more, he will flank around. That one will still rout. So it's very important. So you don't want to be open to flank unless you must, in this situation. But the cav here certainly makes up for it. That's why I actually chose to do that. So if you chose to try this army out, my God, I can't articulate my words. If you want to try out this army, just be wary that you have to watch out for being wrapped around by the excess infantry if they have it. Okay, I'm going to cut it right here. I'm going to show you next is going to be rushed armies. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, I brought you back, and now I have the rushed armies. For rush armies, you can bring pretty much any faction. Usually the Middle Eastern factions are not as good for rushes, but if you want to be bold and just go out there and bring elephants with the Timurids, you can pull a Royal Guard right there, and you will probably do well if you know what you're doing. I've also seen Swedish Landsknecht, I can't pronounce his name, Swedish Landsknecht, I think it's how it's pronounced, rush with Egypt. It's very interesting. So pretty much any faction can rush. Usually it's Western factions with the heavy infantry that can compensate. It's actually a lot better for Denmark and Scotland to be rushing because they don't have archers that can actually fight in an extended, balanced fight. Okay. So first I have Scotland for a very cheap money because they have the Goliaga. It's a shock infantry. It's very cheap, 380. And they have cheap pikemen, which all somehow perform really, really well. It actually, in one of my battle replays, somebody rushed me using all pikes from Scotland, and they destroyed me. And I was really surprised. But here, I just went with early General's Bodyguard with an armor upgrade, 2 units of Mailed Knights because it's cheap money, and the Knights Hospitaller. And also 5 units of Dismounted Feudal Knights, 2 units of Galago, and 2 units of Highland Pikemen. It's decent. You have a lot of infantry. You can rush. Probably use the Highland Pikemen as a meat shield and protect your better infantry, and use the Galago to flank around and really get a quick rout if you can. It would probably be better. And what I should say is that rush armies are better the lower the money is, because balanced armies can't keep up. As money increases, balanced armies get stronger, because when you're at higher money, the infantry in a balanced army will have enough upgrades so they won't rout right away against fighting, say, a rushed army's infantry, and then they will actually have more time for their archers to do punishment to you. So I should mention that, which I did just now. So remember, if you're rushing, it certainly is an advantage in this game, especially on the grassy plains. As terrain comes in, archers get more and more powerful. As money gets in, archers get more powerful, or balanced armies get more powerful. So be wary of that, and know your rushes and all the tactics that I've shown you from before. Okay, but yeah, so that's this army. For the next army I brought, I would say Denmark is a good choice. You have very good Chivalric Knights and then you have Huskarls, which have an armor piercing attack just like the Teutonic Knights, and they do very well for themselves as well. They have good morale, but they don't have good stamina, which is kind of worrisome. And then you can get good infantry alongside them, and that also makes for a good rush. You could also probably take out a unit of Feudal Knights, get some meat shields of some sort, maybe some sword and staff militia, I don't know. There's not very good meat shields with Denmark, per se. Maybe Norse archers, I'm not sure. Because Norse archers can also fight in melee. I like dual action units. They're very, very useful, I would say. So this is a very good army. You have your heavy infantry, you have your good cav. And good cav is very important in rush, because rushes can go array really quickly. Then for medium money, Spain, because Spain has so much different choices of infantry. They have everything you could ever want, really, as Spain. So you can get a bunch of upgrades with this rush army here, and then get a bunch of quality infantry. You got your dismounted chivalric knights, dismounted feudal knights, and then even conquistadors. I usually don't get 4 conquistadors because they cost a lot of money. I like to save my money. It's a lot better for fighting if you can have more quantity units and quality. Usually, in most cases, there's some exceptions, like the Holy Roman Empire army I showed you before, but this army is really good. You have this nice spread of infantry and strong cav for the money, so it's very, very nice. And then we have Russia for the high money. Now this is not necessarily the best rush army for a high money battle, but it's certainly a very versatile one, because it has dismounted Dvar, which is very good in melee. So this actually doubles as both a rush army and as a balanced army. So you can choose halfway through the battle, do I want to rush, depending on the situation. So this is why I love this army. You have Tsar's Guard, which can fight against upgraded cav without any upgrades, which is lovely. It's very cheap. The infantry needs all your upgrades because it will rout without it. The British Axemen are really cheap, even with the upgrades. 610, that's the same. They won't perform as well as other infantry, but they will be saved by the Boyar Sons with the upgrades because they perform really, really well, and they work well with the dismounted Dvar. British Axemen can take out cav in seconds, so they're very, very useful, especially if you have your other cav. So this is a very versatile army. You can choose halfway through, and again, it has the pleasing exactly amount of the money you've paid, and I just love those armies. It makes me feel so warm inside. I just love it. I love it. I love it. So this is a very good rush army. Okay, I'm going to cut it again and bring you back with siege armies. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, I have brought you back with siege armies, and what I love about sieges is that you can play as pretty much any faction. You got your eastern faction with the Naphitunes, and they perform great with the Naphitunes because Naphitunes are great in sieges. They have the choke points and all, and it's lovely, lovely, lovely. So what I did here is I have 2 low money battles and 2 high money battles for sieges. One will be defense and one will be attack for both, so that you can see how it changes. Usually they're quite similar for me, at least. Maybe that's not the best choice in the world. Okay, so let's go into this thing. I just completely messed up the siege army. Oh wait, this is a defense. My bad. Alright, so this is Milan for defending, and what Italians are very good with the low money because they have the low money infantry right here. So you just get a bunch of infantry, and you got the standard because you still need it with these, especially in the siege, especially, like, if they have Naphitunes and you bring these, you're not going to be able to fight at all. So you definitely need the Carraccio standard for bringing eastern factions. Maybe not as much if they're not, because then they will hold better. But I would bring it because I did it without it, and it hasn't worked out. And Milan has great crossbowmen, so they can definitely hold their own in the siege. So that's why I like it. They have the Genoese crossbow militia and Genoese crossmen with good stamina and pretty good melee stats in worst case scenario, especially for the prices. So that's why they're nice. But what's important in the siege is that you have good infantry and good skirmishers. Not so much cav. Cav is a little bit iffy in the entire siege thing. It depends a lot on what the other people bring and if you can use it correctly. If you want to attack with low money, Papal States, another Italian faction, they similar infantry here. I would say bring the Great Cross because then you're attacking, you definitely need it. You could bring a bombard, and then mortars are very good, especially for attacking because then you can. The defenders are usually scrunched up in their in the keep or the town center, that little town square where they have infant morale, and then you can just bombard them and get tons of kills. So it's very useful on attack. Maybe bring some crossmen. You can put them on the walls and shoot down. And some broken lances if you need some quick response. You can take them out, get another infantry if you so desire, or another cav if you so desire. I put experience in the mortar because mortars with 1 experience are a lot more accurate, and they're a lot worth the money if you put experience on them, because then they can definitely pinpoint, even like hit a general from far away, which would be great in any situation at all. Okay, so high money defense, I chose England. That's one of my favorite defending factions in Siege. You can get great infantry, look at all these upgrades, and then you get these retinue longbowmen, which are great in melee, and bows, especially these ones that are effective against armor, they're better at shooting in the situation of a siege because they can shoot up at an upwards angle, at a high angle, and still get a lot of kills. Crossbows don't perform as well shooting at that angle. Crossbows need more of a lateral, and England also has mortars, which can defend well, both with experience. And then I got English Knights, because it's a high money, you can afford it, and I would usually you send me out right away with them. Usually, that's what I do at least. And you can try and get some charges, take out 2 or 3 units of infantry. If not, you can use it and get a flank halfway through them when they forgot that you even had cav, because it's very fast and very versatile, especially English Knights with their armor-piercing axes. So that's something that you might want to keep in mind if you're attacking in a siege. Okay, and this is the final siege army. This is attacking one with France. What I love about France is they have great crossmen and great archers. They are both very good in melee, and then you have the good infantry, of course, with the upgrades and all. I got culverins instead of basilisks. I think they're worth the money more. They're more effective. So this army is very good. You can use the Scots Guard up on their walls, use it in the melee if you need to. So it's a very versatile army in a siege, and I love it. I don't use France in the field as much, so that's why I think it's a great pickup. Sieges are usually a bit easier to make armies because you just need strong infantry, strong skirmishers. What I didn't really show, which I probably should have, is that say you're playing as Spain, bring javelins, because they will do really, really well. They go across, they kill tons. So bring javelins when you can in sieges because they get the choke points. Those little alleyway battles and wall battles are very, very good for the javelins to get tons of kills for you. So that's very important to remember. We said that in our siege video. So this is the end of Noob School. As far as I see, if you think I missed anything, please comment and tell me what you think I missed. I definitely enjoyed it. I really, really, really ask you guys to show any person you think is a noob or you think is just, well, not necessarily noob because that's a little bit offensive, but if they're new, if they need to learn the game, you can suggest it to them kindly and all. They can probably learn from this, and I would really appreciate it. Not because I want viewers, well, kind of because I want viewers. A little bit because I want viewers, a little bit because I want less noobs on here. So please, like, I'm really asking you. I would love to see more new players come here and learn how to play the game. So this was probably the last one. I really enjoyed making these videos. I really hope they helped you. If they did, please tell me, and please spread it to the ones if it did help you, because I hopefully did help you, because that was the entire goal of this series. So thank you all for watching, and this will be the conclusion of Noob School as far as I can tell. See you guys in the other series. Goodbye, my friends.